You're so good at those segues. I gotta learn how to do that. You're just on point, man.
It's just whatever comes in my head. You know, I'm always thinking about it right now. Speaking of what's in my head, I'm kidding, guys. But yeah, like this spot right here, it actually is Mulligan right now, though. I just got word from our director in my ear. So game number 2 is getting underway. You see how that works? It's that cognitive process. I have precognition. I've been calling cards all season.
It's been unbelievable. I'm not gonna lie. It's starting to scare me. I've been moving
Caldy's first card draw is going to be Booty Bay Bodyguard in this game. He's drawing it on turn 2. I can feel it.
If he draws Booty Bay Bodyguard on turn 2 in this game, I'm literally unmiking, disconnecting, and walking out.
Gosh, one time, Caldy.
One
time.
Is this it? You're using your one time right here?
Yes, right now.
You know you don't get another one.
Yeah, I am aware of that. I say every time. I'm that guy.
Every time?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You know, I was playing poker in 2012, and these guys at my table got so mad at me because every time I got all in, I would just go every time dealer, and I just kept the deck just kept smashing me in the face. I won like 7 all-ins in a row, and,
nice.
and they were livid with me. They're like, how could you just say every time spread the wealth? And I was like, spread the wealth? I'm playing poker, man.
That's the point of the game.
Era, not surprised to see him go with his Paladin build. He's been playing this all season long so far and to pretty good effect.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this deck as well, Nathan, too. It's really good in a lot of matchups, super resilient. Not amazing against Grim Patron. In fact, it's actually just kind of abysmal. But every other matchup, I feel that you have a lot of chances to win.
Which is where its major strength comes from. You know, every single deck is going to have that one thing that kills it. This one, the thing that kills it happens to be the most popular deck. The thing about it, though, is that its matchups versus everything else are pretty good.
Also, its matchups against like decks like Druid are insane, which has been so popular here on HPL that you saw a lot of people starting to play this deck, you know, give themselves a chance to just snipe that matchup. And then until like towards the end of the season here, and even a little bit on the ladder lately, I mean, you don't always see a ton of Grim Patron. And this is what I'm talking about. Look how resilient this deck is. Yeah, these are 2-1s for 1, but they're getting in a lot of damage.
Coghammer being drawn here is a really interesting card from Era. And honestly, despite the player who Era is, this is surprising to me.
Well, yeah, you don't always find cards like Coghammer in this deck. Sometimes you find one because it starts, for one, it's an extra weapon in your deck. It's not a minion that, you know, gets on the board. That's kind of a big deal. But I don't mind it. And we've seen the versions that Era runs. He also runs Argent Protector in his decks. He has the version that fights for the board a little bit more. Like the ones that I play are usually a little more all in. They try to kill you by turn 4 and 5. He likes to be able to have the ability to fight for the board a little bit better.
Yeah, give me those turn 4 or 5 kills. Those are the ones I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Here's your Wild Growth, Caldy. Arcane Golem is going to try to run over the Sludge Belcher. This is a major road hump for Era at this point, though. Caldy's not entirely safe, though. He does have Hellfire to clear this board out, but he's going to fall very low with that second one.
Yeah, he does have another anti-Keel bot in his hand, though, so if he can get to the, you know, just any stable point, he might be able to recover this game.
I actually don't know if he can afford to Hellfire in this spot.
It would put him down to 5. Era has a concentration.
Like, he's dead to Leroy Jenkins. He's dead to Wolf Rider, or like, well, not Wolf Rider, dead to Arcane Golem.
Yeah, I mean, Caldy doesn't know this, but when you see Era having cards like Coghammer in his deck, and he probably has Argent Protector, you don't always find Leroy Jenkins in that version. And then these decks haven't always been playing Wolf Rider lately as well. Yeah. You know, Arcane Golem is in like South Sea Deckhands are the cards with charge that they more likely play. But again, Caldy doesn't know exactly which version Era's playing. You know, they're all a couple cards different.
Yeah, because of that, I think he's just got to take a safe play here. So Shadowflame, I think it's just superior at this point. You know, it doesn't look as good, but keeping himself at the 8 life mark so that he can't just outright die, I think this is just a better play.
Yeah, and I like this turn here from Era. He's going to be able to Coghammer up this Knife Juggler, make it resilient, get in some damage here. And, you know, the Divine Shield, actually a pretty big deal here.
Yeah, I really like the way that he's played this because this is protecting it from Dark Bomb at this point. Caldy's going to have 2 ways to deal this damage if he wants to take care of it. And so in the meantime, it's just sticking to the board.
Yeah, now Era has to do 14 damage now and get through this anti-Keel bot, the face of terror.
Yeah, I think this is going to start with this Consecration and then hope to juggle the right one.
Yeah, he's going to make a minion here. He's got a 50% chance.
Either of the juggles are totally fine.
Either of the juggles are fine, but he's got a 50%, I'm sorry, 1 in 3 chance to get a really good one here.
Yep, so it does take an extra point of damage. Not a big deal for him. The bigger deal is that Caldy is at 9 right now, and he's got a taunted, shielded Knife Juggler out.
Era actually has lethal next turn if Caldy doesn't do anything to affect this.
So if he Hellfires and he drops to 6, still alive in this spot. But how could you pass up Jiraxxus at a time like this?
It's hard to pass up Jiraxxus on this board.
Now the problem though is that Caldy doesn't have a way to taunt up after this.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't have a way to gain life. Like, he may need to take a big risk here in order to try to win the game.
Yeah, we see Caldy figure this out a lot. You know, he knows that he has to, you know, is it bad to Mortal Coil into Hellfire here?
It's not good. I mean, he already forewent the Hellfire on a board that had 6 power out. You know, does he want to Hellfire this board? I mean, I think he has to, though.
Yeah, and it lets him get a Void Caller into play at least. He gets on the board, and he can start to contest a little bit
What's
here.
funny is that dropping this Void Caller could actually be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, because if Jiraxis comes into play, you can't heal anymore, but you have to play the Void Caller.
Yeah, I mean, let's say Era, like, attacks this Void Caller. Like, there's no chance he does.
Right, there's no chance he does.
But imagine if Era had the foresight to read in that situation. This is like one that's pretty darn close to impossible to read. But honestly, looking at his hand, what does Era lose to if he attacks this Void Caller?
I'm trying to think of what you could actually lose to here. You could lose to some weird combination of cards from this spot, but it's just 100% correct to go upstairs because Caldi has shown you that he doesn't have a heal on that turn, so you just have to try to win the game here from that spot.
Gosh, this is a turn I'm going to have to go back and look at forever. I'm going to start asking people about this turn, actually, because I think when you really, really dig deep, I think there is an argument for attacking the Void Caller.
What if he has like Mal'Ganis in his hand?
If he has Mal'Ganis in his hand, you're just going to lose anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least you make him spend his turn pulling the Mal'Ganis next turn instead of just giving it to him for free, and then he gets to like life tap for free that turn.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many different permutations, but here come the Infernals.
Yeah, 6/6 is being summoned every single turn. Bad news for Era. And Caldi's got to count his damage here. Like, you know, can he afford to leave this damage on board right now? I think the answer is actually yes, because he can fall to 8 from the pressure that's on board right now. So Era's going to have 8 damage with the 2 cards that he's drawn in order to get this done. And so I look at Caldi's hand and I wonder, you know, do I want to give him extra draws with Divine Favor even? I think you could Dark Bomb the 1/1 or Dark Bomb face.
Yeah, I think you just push here. I don't mind using the Dark Bomb to even just kill the 1/1 and then get 3 more damage into Era here, because if Era does anything to interact with your minions, they're going to win the game.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. I love that Caldi is controlling his hand size as much as possible. Oh, and the Lotheb's here, so he didn't even need to cut into Divine Favor. So, Blessing of Might not going to be enough. Caldi's going to tie up this game at 1 apiece. 6/9. He's actually 1 damage off of ending it this turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to play another turn here.
Is there any way that Era gets back into this one?
I think you're going to see Caldi play out his entire hand here to play around Divine Favor.
Yeah, no reason not to, I think.
And luckily, there's no 7-power minion in here. I mean, because I would actually just kill my own minion, I think, if I had to here, just to get the card out of my hand to cut as many outs from Era as possible.
Yeah.
Because Era gets in 2 no matter what. I mean, you're at 9, so there are some crazy running outs if he gets to draw extra cards.
Yeah, Era needs 8 damage with a single card.
Yeah,
so he would need to rip Avenging Wrath and have all 8 points of damage go to face. Oh, that would be brutal.
That's like mathematically impossible, pretty much.
It's definitely possible if it's not in his build, and more so if he concedes. So series tied up at 1 apiece now. We're going to that critical game 3.